My name is Germana Ravanelli. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist, a mind-body healer, a personal trainer, nutritional therapist. I was taught that health is harmonizing the body, the mind, and the spirit. Hello, my name is Germana Ravanelli. I am coming to you from Vancouver Island, Nanaimo, BC. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. If you like what you hear, if you think it's of value to you or some people in your community, please feel invited to share it, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you're inspired. This video is specifically dedicated to supporting people in eating in a way that allows them to remain healthy, strong, to lose fat and stop gaining fat. What happens for a lot of people in today's society is a lot of what we're eating is, I call them frankenfoods. They're like foods, and yet we eat them. And then if you look around and you go to a shopping store and you look at the bodies that are pushing the carts, I would say you'd be hard pressed to see bodies that are actually in fairly good condition. In fact, you'll probably see a lot of people that are shuffling along and often overweight, often sort of flapped over. And it's a byproduct of our lifestyle, our thinking, and what we eat. We are constantly being bombarded by all of this advertisement that says, eat this, eat this. And a lot of what we're being asked to eat is so hyper processed that our body doesn't know what to do with it. It actually becomes a burden to the system. So it weakens the body. And one of the things that I see that happens tremendously to particularly, I don't know why, but it seems to happen a lot to women. And I think it's perimenopause, menopause, and then on we go. They don't eat enough protein, and they'll often come in for help and they'll go, yeah, I don't know why, but I can't stop eating sugar or candy or snacks or crackers. And I'll ask them, like, how much protein are you actually getting? And they won't really know. They will say, well, I had some almond crackers or I had some pate or something. And once you get past a certain age, it is so important to understand the building blocks of keeping your body functioning. We need, they're called macros. So a macro is a protein. That is something that our body needs to renew and replace its cell tissue, its eyes, its liver, its lungs, its heart, all of that. And then you've got your carbohydrates, which are, if they come from nature, they do not insulin spike in a significant way. If they come from man, they insulin spike. And when you eat a lot of carbohydrates, it forces your body to store fat, primarily abdominal fat. And if your diet is primarily carbohydrates, what ends up happening is it has to steal muscle tissue to make up for the repair job that's happening inside of you. Every day we probably lose, I don't know the exact number, trillions and trillions of cells. Now our cells have what's called as a fatty layer around it, which there's a clue, we need fat. And all of the organelles on the inside, then they heal. And as they heal, we get new cell tissue. If they don't have the ability to heal, then we have something called sentience, which is cell death. And we all will have trillions of cells that die a day. The point is you need to bathe the body in the macronutrients so that your body gets the building blocks to repair the tissue. If you repair the tissue, you stay physically healthy, stronger, more vital. If you're not able to repair the tissue because you're using inferior product, which is what is mainstream now, you will have a diseased state of body. If you have too much stress and you don't know how to manage it, you will have a diseased state of body. If you don't know how to manage your thinking, that creates more stress, diseased state of body. And most people like myself that went into a spiritual type of lifestyle, I went there from pain. I wanted to feel better, which is why I now teach that for people. End of that conversation. This video is dedicated to some of the ways that I eat, and not that I'm perfect, I'm not, to encourage other people to, celebrate the fact that food is actually one of the lost pleasures on the planet. It's a wonderful pleasure. I was a vegetarian years and years ago, and I actually got up to about 190 I'm 5'2". I was exercising for 3 hours a day, and I was like, what is the matter? And it wasn't that I was eating that many calories, but my body was treating all of that carbohydrate as sugar, and it would spike my insulin, and I turned into what I call as a chubster. And I was devastated because I was young. And eventually, I was introduced to a different model, which was like, you have to have protein at every meal. And I fought every step of the way. And what was interesting is, as I brought that protein in, my eating disorder disappeared, because I would get up at night and eat while I was asleep, which is very humiliating because I didn't even remember what I was eating. So now I'm going to go into some of the things that I do to get 30 grams of protein per meal, which is the magic number. You won't absorb it all. And ideally, you're doing that for 3 to 4 meals a day. It's okay if you don't. And it's just information. So one of the things that I like to do, and this is so easy in the summertime, I'll take 3/4 of a cup of, this is organic yogurt, and pay attention to the organic factor. 3/4 of a cup to a full cup. I don't get crazy on the measuring. 1.5 cups of clean protein powder that has no extra fillers or sugars in it, and I will whip it up and I will turn it into a pudding. So there's strawberry, and sometimes I'll put berries in it. Sometimes I'll actually put maple syrup in it because I love sugar. But again, this is more natural. My body knows what to do with this. I'll also put stevia in it if I really want something. This will also be a late night snack. If I'm hungry and I'm peckish and I don't want to eat a lot of dead food, I will eat something like this, and it keeps my body happy. And I just listen, how am I doing? If I'm sleeping well, if I'm not craving sugar, then my body's getting what it needs. When my body doesn't get what it needs, I get woken up and I'm looking for food. This is another thing that, I used to do this a lot when I was competing, and I have competed for a number of years, and I've started doing this again, but it's 3/4 of a cup of egg white with 1 egg cooked, and I'll roll it up in a tortilla shell. I'll put a little bit of cheese, a little bit of mayo, and that's my easy finger food for breakfast, lunch, snack. And what I like about this is easily 30 grams. I am full for a couple of hours, which is how you can also tell if you're getting enough. If you're hungry right away afterwards, your body's not getting enough calories. And if you don't get the calories, it's going to try to get it some other way. And I did take out my weigh scale to show you the difference of what protein looks like when it's 120 grams. This is a steak that I had just cooked. It's not that big. 120 grams. It's called a baseball steak. And I love steak. And that's not a big piece of meat. So that's enough. And then I also did the same with some chicken breast, 120 grams of chicken breast. It's not a lot, but you got to make sure that you're getting that 120 grams so that your body is being bathed in amino acids so it can heal the cell tissue, particularly if you want to lose weight, particularly if you're strength training. When you strength train, you're actually breaking down fibers, which actually makes you weaker. You're weaker in the gym. And then when you're done, then you want to go and eat a good, 30 grams of protein right away. I'll usually get people to take 1.5 scoops of protein powder, 1/3 of a cup of dry oats, some berries, throw them in the blender, whip them up, leave it in their car. And when they're finished training here or wherever they go, I say drink that as soon as you get in your car. So those are a number of the ways that I eat protein, and they're not super exciting. Food is fuel, but it can be really, really lovely. Here's an example of one of my girlfriends. Her name is Katie Mura, and she made these bars, and she made them herself. And I absolutely appreciate and respect women that are entrepreneurs that don't give up. And she made these bars, and I always buy them. There's this salted caramel. They're amazing. They're great. There is a total of 20 grams of protein, and I believe there's 22 grams of fiber. Hazelnut mocha crisp, I love those as well. And this is my very favorite, the chocolate cherry jubilee. So I buy these in case lots and I sell them to my clients, and I keep them because that's easy. You put that in your glove box or in your purse or in your gym bag and you're stuck. Boom, you have that, and it will cap you. You're satisfied and have a big glass of water with it. Another thing that I want to just sort of demonstrate, the carbohydrates that I will, utilize, and I don't use a lot of carbohydrates. My body doesn't benefit. My blood sugar goes high, and then I start storing fat. But I'll have green beans that are steamed. I'll sometimes, make a nice salad with broccoli, and then I'll have things like this in seasoned cherries. And one of the things that's super important to understand, I'll also make popcorn, air popcorn with real butter. Yay. I'll share that with my Chihuahua, Boo Boo. He loves it. One of the things to understand is if you are struggling and you need to get on track, then you want to go, where's the protein in my diet? And is there any healthy fat? Healthy fat is not something that's hyper processed. So here's an example. There's an olive oil. There's coconut oil. And that's actually not bad. You can also use this to take your makeup off. Believe it or not. Works like a hot damn. It's great for your skin. And sometimes a nut butter. A nice tablespoon of nut butter is one of the other ways to make sure you're getting enough fat. Our brain is fat. The cells that are the trillions of cells have a sheath around it that's made of fat. Real butter is excellent. Organic maple syrup. Oh my God, I love maple syrup. Organic whipping cream. And I'm also a real stickler about if you're doing dairy, it needs to be organic. And the reason why is because whatever the animal was fed, if it's a feedlot animal, it's been fed hormones, lots of GMO product, lots of medications because it's sick. And you can't live on a sick animal or a sick plant and be healthy. So if you eat diseased animal tissue or plants that are sick, you are actually using inferior product to repair the tissue in your body. And your body is under a constant repair process. That's your whole life. When you're young, you have all this growth hormone, you get bigger, 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 smarter, and all of that. And then as you get older, you want to have some mastery and learn how to take care of this wonderful gift that you have, your body. And some people will go, I don't have time and I don't have money, and then they'll come back later and they're unhealthy. They might be 30, 40, 50 pounds bigger, and all of a sudden now they're living with the consequence of not putting their health first. Where I come from, when you're healthy, you're happy, your life is easier. And I'm not saying that is easy, but it is a commitment. Suffering is much worse. It's super, super important. Like if you're going to have a commitment to yourself in every meal, is there 30 grams of protein? If you are someone that does well on, a vegetarian model, it's very rare and you're unique, but you also want to check, how are you doing? Are you in a binging cycle with food? I stay very, very, very far away from things like bread. I once in a while use rice. I love buckwheat groats. I'll make that. I love that. But as the rest of it is very basic, I go, what were my grandparents able to find? I will seek that out and I will eat that. And it has helped me. I do exercise, maybe 4 times, maybe 4.5, 5 times a week max. I've had to slow down my exercise as I've gotten older because my body doesn't heal as quickly. So then it's like, what can I do to keep my body working in the best possible way? And that is usually a high protein diet, yummy, yummy vegetables and fruit. I love cherries. I love grapes. I love green beans, things like that. I love salads, but I also got, too obsessed with salads for a while, and then I just stopped enjoying them. And for me, I need to enjoy it. I hope that something here has given you some tools to choose the best possible products that you can get. Again, when you go into a dairy product, you want that animal to have been a farm-raised organic animal. If not, you're actually unknowingly being poisoned by whatever they put into that poor animal. And even if I buy cottage cheese, I buy organic cottage cheese. If you understand the difference, it might be $2 a container. You're worth it. You're worth it. Most of us have more food than we ever eat anyway. So then being a little bit fussy is to your benefit, and you will not have so many issues with inflammation, with injury and illness. You want to put the best possible fuel in your body, and then your body will take care of you. And I want to thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope that there was something here of value for you. And please feel invited to like, share, subscribe. I am going to start doing some other videos that have support for people that have chronic back pain. That seems to be an ongoing message that I hear from people. And I have a series of exercises that I was taught by Dr. Stuart McGill, back rehab specialist all over the world. And he calls people with back problems TFBs, and it's a totally effed up back. And 80% of the population has a totally effed up back, and they're not able to work for a period of time because of the injuries. And then they just do nothing, or they do things that are much, much worse. So I live with a spinal cord injury. I know what it's like to suffer, and I also know what recovery is like. And that is why I am sharing these nuggets with you. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Thank you.